We're not going slow and hitting slow. We're going slow but hitting hard. People hit up here, bam, that's going to ruin your joints. Now we've set the tone, we've set the standard. When it comes to pads, the very first thing you have to keep in mind, and pretty much the most important thing, is to protect your technique. So make sure that whatever you do, your technique is maintained. So that means don't go above your skill level. If you can't hold Thai pads properly, then you're doing more harm than good if you do Thai pads with your partner and then make them practice angles that are wrong, and then they get better at doing the wrong thing. So when you start with pads, just first get good at the kick shield. That's what I normally put people on first, kick shield. The kick shield, you can't go wrong. It's really hard to make mistakes with kick shield. And the partner is still practicing their technique. The partner is still getting the conditioning. You can still give feedback with the kick shield. So it doesn't have to be fancy. Like the main point is just improving your technique, getting feedback, and practicing your power. So for the kick shield, this is how you hold it. Go in your stance. So make sure you're always in your stance. When you do all pad work, be in your stance. So don't be like that, and don't distort it. Don't distort your stance. So you're in your stance. Then think about the angles that the shots are coming. So if we're doing leg kicks, this is the part of the leg that's going to be hit. That's where I put the pad. Rule of thumb, always for your partner should be kicking the middle of the pad. If they kick low or kick high, tell them too low, too high. Make sure they kick in the middle, because they're going to be injuring you. Plus they're practicing not being accurate. That's one. But secondly, you don't want to be taking shots in your knees, taking shots on your hips, and you don't want them to hurt you. All right. So kick in the middle, and the middle, if I took that off, that's the middle of my thigh. So that's where I place it. If I want to do body kicks, I'd lift it up. The middle of the pad will simulate being on my ribs. The common mistake, people hold out here. That makes no sense. All right. So just think about where they're going to hit you on your body, and then emulate it with the pads. Give me a kick. All right. When you're holding pads, as the pad holder, you got to do a few things at the same time. One of the main things is don't be a dead partner. Don't be mindless. So give some feedback. In this case, when he threw a kick, he swung back too much. So now we've got something to work with. He threw one or two kicks. I picked up on something that we could fix, and that's an opportunity to fix something. So that's what we do. And that should be the main priority for pads, is to improve your skills. Not necessarily for conditioning. Conditioning, go smash bags. At least you as the partner or you as the coach is not taking the impact. So yes, you get conditioning with pads, and sometimes you'll do it purely for that, for VIPs, just for special occasions. But I wouldn't recommend getting the conditioning done on a person, like on myself, because you want to save your joints. So the main thing is, I want to improve their skill. That's the priority. So in this case, let's do it again. So you give me that kick. All right. See how there's a little bit of a fumble? Let's do 3-5 reps until we perfect that. So when you kick, come back to your stance. Rule of thumb, where you start is where you finish. So pay attention. This is where you start. This is where you're going to finish. All right. So you veered off a little bit. All right, let's do it again. And actually, this is a good, something good. Use this line in between your legs. So there's a line here. You can just get like a rope. You can get whatever you want, and just so it's something to measure, because sometimes you don't realize how much you're veering off in front of your target. So now we're going to use that. So in the end, you're going to land exactly like that with that line underneath your body, and then we can test it. All right, done. Good. Now we move on. So the first level is we'll go slow, throwing shots, like single shots, kick, push kick, knee. But when you hit hard. So we're not going slow and hitting slow. We're going slow but hitting hard and getting set. Let's play around with that. So let's say, yeah. Now lean forward when you do that. So when you push kick, I should go back, not the person push kicking. So if you push kick, if you go back, that means your weight wasn't counterbalanced forward. So now we've got something to work with. Yeah, Push me back, exactly. Good. Good. So we're moving slow, but he's hitting hard. So you start, that's the first level. And as you do that, just find little things that you can help, that you can give feedback so it improves. So if their technique was like a 7, and you communicate and you get it to an 8, 8.5, that's progress. That's the habit you want to have for all your pad work. Even if you're a partner. So for a coach, of course, and then if you're a partner, you want to be a valuable partner. So you want to add value to those few minutes, and vice versa. And then you'll compound that over a year, and then you're going to improve a lot. Then the next level, if you want to improve on this, so put your gloves on. Once you're moving around and they're hitting consistently, and you're giving feedback, and you feel like you're ready for a bit more of a challenge, then start adding some defenses, start simulating some punches, and add more to the kick shield work. So let's say you're going to go simulate, let's say uppercut, left hook. So uppercut, left hook, kick. Yeah. Now slide back when you kick though. So let's go uppercut. All right. Now do that without me giving you the prompts, by getting close to the chin. Boom, boom. Good. 2 more. Again. So when you do that, make sure do it the wrong way. So when I tell people to do this is a real common mistake where you do it far from me. So do it. All right. Don't do that. That doesn't make any sense. So your range is totally off. Make sure that you get close to your partner. Obviously don't clip them, but half an inch away, 1 inch away. So make sure that you're practicing the right range. Even when you're doing, even when you're simulating something, make sure it's simulated with the right distance. Then, of course, add some defenses too. So let's say check, boom, ha, good, hook, ha. All right, we can work on that. Next, when you're comfortable to do Thai pads, the first thing is when you put them on, make sure they're not like super tight. A lot of people do that. You got to keep some slack, so it's got to be loose. So think about it. These are not even on. I'm just holding on to this. All right. So I want some slack, because sometimes I need to spin it, and when it hits, there has to be a little bit of give. When it's locked on, you can't move. You need it to move, because when you do kicks, and if I spin it for an elbow, I need this to spin a little bit. When I kick, I need it to spin, so it connects on the right parts of my forearm. Just leave some slack. It's going to be better. The first thing is, see, these are already really tight. Someone's put them super tight. I can already tell. Don't do that. Very loose. Yeah. Loose. When you hold for a kick, that's the main thing that you're going to be holding for. Think of it like an A shape. It's got to be flat. Don't have it like this where it's all mangled. Just a nice flat surface, like a bag. It's smooth, like the body. It's not like all distorted. Smooth. Think of it like an A shape. See, it's A. Not like this, just like that. Your body should take most of the impact. So I'm leaning forward. I'm in my stance, right? I could be southpaw stance, orthodox, it doesn't matter. Bend the knees. My body weight's forward. Elbows touching or close to touching ribs. And I'm relaxed and loose. And when the kick comes, I put a little bit of resistance, and I let go. Boom. You can practice. If you get a slappy sound, that's a good sign. If it's a thud, it's a sign you might be tight, or the person hitting pads is tight. So both of you have to aim to be loose, and both of you aim to get a slappy sound. So when he slaps, that's a good sign. When he thuds, someone's tense. It's either me holding the pads or the other person kicking is tense. So pop. All right. Now when you do Thai pads, remember this is really important. 80-20 rule. So 80% bottom half, which is knees and kicks, 20% top half. Very common is people become too punch dominant and throw with the, do like boxing mitts with Thai pads. The Thai pads are for kicks and knees, mainly, and elbows. Muay Thai is mostly kicks, knees, and elbows. All right, so punches a lot less. If you go to Thailand, some of them do 95-5 or 90-10, 90% kicks and knees, 10% top half, and 8% is elbows, and then 2% is punches. For me, I like 75-25 is what I tell my guys. So be more dominant with the bottom half than the top half. And in Muay Thai, the bottom half weapons are, the punch is considered the weakest weapon because it's padded. So the kicks and knees are more dangerous. But people forget that because when you spar with shin pads, so you're blunting your knife. And when people fight, especially in the States, and probably a lot of places in the world now, they have the amateur leagues where you're fighting with shin pads, so that you don't really get to experience and realize how dangerous and sharp the kicks are without shin pads. So, assuming that you're training to fight Muay Thai proper with no padding, you want to develop. They're underrated, the kicks sometimes, and the punches are overrated on the Thai pads. And I love boxing, but most people will need to develop their kicks and knees more into their game. So just think of this: 75% bottom half, 25% top half. That ratio will be a good ratio. The next thing you have to know is all the shots have to simulate the right angle of the target. So if my chin is here, the pad's in the middle, because the rule of thumb is always hit the middle. The chin, middle, there. That's where the punch goes. Same for this. The hook, same level, chin. The knee goes here, like that. Common mistake, the most common mistake, people do this, so simulating two heads. Here, that makes no sense. And it's actually, you're gonna kill your partner's technique. So you're not punching like that in a fight, you're punching straight. So, pop, pop. Even when I hold here, when the punch comes, I slightly move it in the middle, as close to middle as possible. You're not gonna be like that, so it's not gonna be exactly middle, but bring it in as middle as possible. Another common mistake, people hold different heights. You gotta really pay attention. Even if you're hitting pads, and your pad holder friend partner's doing that, correct them, tweak it for them, fix it for them, because they need it. So some people will do this. So you can see the head's down here and then the head's up here. Makes no sense. So make sure that all the angles on your pads is perfect. Maybe video it, but start off slow. So start off single shots. You don't want to stay at single shots, but you have to master single shots. Meaning, one hit. I'll show you now. So, we're in our stance. Don't go until they're ready in their stance. First shot. Ha! Yeah. And maybe I'll correct that. Extend it a little bit more. Yeah, follow through. Good. Ha! 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 Yeah. Rotate more. And then land on the balls of your feet. Ha! That's it. Yeah. Turn your stomach and your chest over a tiny bit more. Ha! And then where you start is where you finish. So come back to your stance. Ha! All right, good. See how we're doing just single shots. Just work on single shots, make them perfect. You should feel, so when I start with someone, come. I feel where they hit on the pad, hit, boom, all right. So you hit a little bit here. I want to correct that. For my sake and his sake, I want to correct it. If people hit up here, bam, that's going to ruin your joints. Don't tolerate one rep like that. So pay attention where they're hitting on the pad. They have to hit in the middle because they're practicing accuracy. That's the rule. And then you're practicing, because once you start putting power and going faster, you don't want to get injured. So for two reasons. So now let's do it again. So you're going to aim. Ha! And I'm making it, no, that's still too high and that's still too close. Shuffle back a little bit. In the middle. Ha! That's it. Twist with your body. Ha! Yeah. Clench your fist and right in the middle. Ha! Perfect. That's how we want every single rep to be. So now I'm setting at the start I set the standard, set the tone. And I don't let him off the hook unless he hits right in the middle. With every shot. Why not? Why would I do otherwise? So that's what I mean by doing single shots, because you got a lot to think about. You got a lot to achieve, and there's a lot of work to do, and there's a lot of improvement to be made just in single shots. All right. The next level is then you want to start stringing call it combos together. Start stringing 2, 3, 4 hits at the same time. So we're going to string a few shots now. There's a few things that I'm going to be doing at the same time, and I'll just watch first and then I'll tell you afterwards what I did. Good. All right. So if you noticed, I didn't say anything. I wasn't calling him out. 1, 2, right punch, left hook, kick. It's one of my pet hates, actually, and I'll tell you why. It's also one of the most counterproductive things to do is to call out shots. There's a time and place for it, but let me explain. So it's a massive. Firstly, it's not realistic. So if I call out 1, 2, right punch, left hook, right kick, jab, that's not realistic. So in a fight, what am I training for? That's not how a fight's going to work. A fight is spontaneous. A fight, I see an opportunity, I see an opening, I go for it. So it's more internal. It's more you feel it. It's intuitive. So I want to simulate that with my pad work. I want to train him to be intuitive. Now there's ways where I kind of manipulate the opportunities to get him to do what I want him to do. So it's not random, and I'll explain that in a bit. But just first get it in your mind that you want to get to the point where you say minimal. I do say something sometimes. So the exception is when I have a brand new beginner, I have to tell them because they don't know. This is a right punch. This is an elbow. So this is a step up elbow. This is an elbow when you're close. This is a punch. They have to learn that first. So yes, communicate. When they know, shut up. Don't say anything else. Also, it's obvious. Look, can I ask you a question? Look, what's this? What would you do? You'll do a 1, 2. Why do I have to say 1, 2? It's a distraction. First, this is what happens too if you do that. You train yourself to wait for the response. So I'm standing here and I'm waiting to hear something. Tell me what to do. 1, 2, 1, 2. What do I do next? Tell me what to do. Kick, kick. Then you're not gonna know. So you're not training to when you see the opportunity to go for it. So when you spar, who's going to be telling you what to do in your ear? You know, then you have to, I don't know, it's just a mess. So the exception. Sometimes if you're working on, let's say, take out the spontaneity out of the picture for now, and if you're working on like, if I want to work on rotation, let's say I want to work on, boom, a particular combo rotation, wham, wham, wham. I don't want to think about being spontaneous. I want one specific combo that I want to work on, and I'm specifically working on, let's say, loading my hips. So I take out the variability of being unpredictable, and I tell my coach will talk, not me, but say me, my student, I'll say, all right, this is what we're going to work on. All right, let's repeat this for the whole 2 minutes, and I'm just going to focus on your hips rotating. All right, then you memorize the combo, then you do it, because you're working on something else and you're taking that variable of randomness away. But if you go to Thailand and you see, they're not calling, they're just like, if they are calling, it's just because maybe the person is a super beginner or just can't think for themselves. But yeah, you want to get away from that. Another time that I call is when I say double. So if I want double, I'll say double. Sometimes if I want 4 punches, I won't tell them what 4 punches, but I'll just say 4. I could have just showed you that. All right, maybe I will just show you, hold on. So now notice how little I talk and how I kind of get him to do what I want. 3. All right. 3. Double. Double. 4. All right. So we didn't memorize any combos, but he was doing combos. I just told him how many I want. And how did he know where to go? So I'll give you a little, this is a good tip. So if you're a coach or a partner and you want them to do, let's say a right punch, left hook, but you don't want to say it, because if you say it, you're conditioning them to rely on your instruction. This is a good way to do it. Come. Actually, I'm going to do something random now. Let's try this. Good. All right. How do you know what to do?
I think one was closer or further back.
All right. So this is what I did. So if I want you to do uppercut, right punch, watch. I'll lift this up first. Don't hit yet. See how this came in your awareness first. So you registered, ooh, uppercut, but it looks like this. So you can't really tell. He can't tell, but I put this in your peripheral. So that's what you register first, because that's what you see first. Now, if I want to reverse that, as soon as you go, I'll do the up. So I'll lift this up. So now he's registered right punch. And as soon as he goes, boom, that's already up. So then so we just did that in reverse. But whatever I wanted him to do first, I pull that up. You know, but don't do this. This is the worst mistake. Let's do the other one. So don't do it as single shots. So as he's coming, the other one should be ready, because they want to flow with it. Boom, 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 boom. But a lot of people will go, let me show you what a very frustrating single shot pad work looks like. So you don't want to go like bam, bam. It's not going to flow. So tell me if this is frustrating. I'm sure you've had this before. Would you fight like that? Just constant, like boom, boom, boom. But you want to go like boom, 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 boom. So that's what you want to get at. Now, how to get that is firstly you start off slow. You start with one shot. Boom. You get comfortable. You learn the angles, whatever. So then you can. It's just like your skills in Muay Thai. So you want to get a second nature. Then you add 2. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Then you add 3. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Don't go beyond that until it's so easy that you can add a 4th. So as the pad holder, build it up in increments. Build up the number of hits in a row in increments, and just think of it that. So think of it that. Do a real slow-mo. As soon as this comes out, this comes up, and even slower. So see, that's coming. Now this hand comes up. Now go. Now this hand comes up. Ready? Now go. Now, sorry. So you see, hit the yep. Boom. This one can be a pause, because there's going to be a pause. But the main thing is, as one thing is going, have the next thing ready. And you know what that's like? That's like, come on. So that's like when I kick you, as soon as I'm coming back, you're kicking me. Boom. So as I'm hitting you, you're already registering your counter. So as you're hitting my pad, I've already registered the next move. All right. And you can't do that if you're just going random and bang, 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 bang. You got to do that one step at a time. So I'm going to give you the easiest one step. Jab. Boom. All right. 1, 2. Boom, boom. 1, 2. Boom, boom. I shouldn't be calling it. I just told you not to call it. All right. We're assuming this is for absolute beginners. Then now I want to add a 3. Oof. Okay. So that means I'm going to have to go and as soon as he finishes that jab, I turn it into a hook. So you got to be coordinated, and you got to be thinking one step ahead as the pad holder, so you can keep a good flow for your student or your friend or your fighter, so they have a good flow, so it's realistic. All right, so that's the level above the one before. The next level is you want your student, friend slash fighter to be more to improvise, so it's more realistic. So if I just give him the opportunities, that's not exactly how he's going to flow. So if I just hold up the pads that I want him to hit, that's I'm dictating his style, but I want some of his style to come into it. So what that means is, yeah, I could hold something up, but he can go somewhere else. He can just improvise, and then it turns into, it's more interactive. Sometimes I might hold, let's say I hold for a punch, and he went for a knee. I'll just improvise, and if I see it, and catch it. Or maybe he'll just sweep me, or maybe I'll hold for a jab, and instead he fakes and teeps. So you can do that. Of course, you have to build that up in increments, because you don't want to hurt yourselves, and you're not really getting anything out of it. There shouldn't be any mistakes. It should be flawless, like no one getting hurt. That means it's a mastery level. That's what you want to get at. So the first level, to get them thinking and not relying on me dictating what to throw, to get them thinking on their own, to get them using their brain. This will be probably the first and the easiest. Always start with the easiest and then add to it. All right, so now we'll do random pads, but anytime you can throw a right punch to my belly. So you just mix it up. All right. So now it's unlocking his brain to start thinking for himself. See how there was a little hesitation, a little pause, because it's like, oh, I got to think too. That's what you want to get to. Now let's add just a tiny bit more. Let's say inside leg kick anytime, and a punch or anything here. You can do knee, you can do inside leg kick, whatever you want. Hop, 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 hop. Beautiful. So now that's becoming more realistic. So yeah, now he's thinking for himself. He's looking for other opportunities, other openings. Doesn't have to be what I'm showing. Doesn't have to be what I'm giving. It shouldn't be. So now now I've added another layer to the pad work, where now, he's got the stuff I'm showing him, but then he's scanning at the same time. What else is open? Boom, boom, boom. Another good thing to do is sometimes you could practice your fakes. So let's say I hold up for a jab and I'll fake, and if your coach goes like that, that means, oh, you tricked him. So now you can practice your tricks. Then the next level after that is the coach fights back. And if unless you're really good at sparring, or you've fought and you're good at pads, this isn't going to work well. So the coach fights back, and then I can simulate any style. If I want to simulate a pressure fighter and he has to get out of that, I could do that. If I want to be tricky and evasive, I could do that. Also, if I want to practice my own, like make it more fun for myself and practice some techniques on my own, I'll do it in pads. You don't want to be passive. You don't need to be passive. You can be active. You can make it beneficial and valuable to yourself. So if you're doing pad work all day, practice some of your stuff. Yeah, and just get better yourself as well. In case you didn't know, because a lot of people don't, this is kind of like an etiquette, like we touch gloves, like in a fight where they touch gloves. It's kind of a sign of respect, and also like, I'm ready, let's go. It's good to do it with pads too. We'll just do normal pads. We'll go slow, but hit hard, and I'll start off by throwing basic stuff. So let's check out the checks. Would counter off a check. Bop. So I'm not just doing it for the sake of doing it. So two things. So I'll kick. He went slightly off balance. I held the pad for a counter, If it didn't come within a couple seconds, I'll put it down. Just to let him, to communicate to him, you weren't there, you missed the opportunity. So then they're like, they get frustrated. Damn, that means next time I should have stood my ground so I can get that pad. So I can get that pad before it disappears. If you just hold it there waiting for them, then they don't get that message. But if I just go, gone, you didn't get it. So then the next time, they'll want to get it. They'll know that there's a time limit because that's simulating a fight. The next thing, then I realized, okay, he was off balance. What if I kick him harder just to let him know how really off balance he is and showing him how far away from the pad he's at. So you don't have to talk. The less you talk, the more you internalize and the more intuitive it becomes. Maybe come to think, I don't know, maybe I think like that because I learned Muay Thai with no English. My trainer, when he came to Australia, spoke no English and there was no Google Translate. So everything was taught to me with no words. And I do the same, and it gets a lot of, it gets the results I want. And it makes sense too. So that's one example of elements that you can bring into the pad work. I'm challenging him, I'm testing him, I'm seeing what the weaknesses are. And I'm teaching him in a way that he can transfer and it's realistic. So if I kick him and he's off balance and I just give him a small opportunity, that correlates to a fight. That's similar to a fight. So start thinking in that way. If you think of every component, making it as close to a fight as possible, I'm not talking about power, but I'm talking about like what realistically happens, then you'll be on the right track to do the right things in everything that you do. So I don't have to give you the answer for every single detail, do it this way, do it that way. Just a general principle that I just explained, you can figure out most of the problems and how to do certain things on your own. If I want to add another level of realism, to be realistic, what I would do is this. Let's play around again. You don't know what I'm going to do. Elbow. Elbow. All right, let's do it again. All right. So I would do this. Elbow. All right. So, well, first I tried to get him to make a mistake, which he didn't. So what I wanted to do is this, right? Normally, you would meet the punch or meet the elbow with resistance. You don't realize how far in you're going. That's fine. But to make it more realistic, eventually, don't do this with beginners, is I don't move this at all. I don't meet it. So he has to come to me. So normally with elbows, what would happen, if you try this with a lot of people, this is what would happen. So if you throw it, you don't get close enough and you miss. Boom, yeah, you don't realize. But normally, elbow, see, I meet it, that's fine. But sometimes, if I want to test, is he accurate, his range, if he's getting better, elbow, yeah, all right, you did it right then, but yeah. So, yeah, so don't meet it. Then the other thing I was doing is I started to move with the punch. So look, come and get it. Come get the punch, but I'm moving. I'm holding for a kick. Why stay still? Is a fight still? I'm moving. So then he has to I got to chase it, and I got to defend myself on the way in, which you did. Yeah. So if someone's moving, and let's say I want that right punch, mate, I have to come up, protect myself, boom, and then hit. So you're adding that element to it. So move while you hold pads. So act like a fighter is what I'm saying. Act like how a fight, the closer you simulate to a fight and the better you become at doing pads in that simulated pad work, then the more it's going to transfer to your fight, the more it's going to feel like a fight, while maintaining as best technique as you can, while the pad holder's giving you feedback. Yep. It's very valuable to have a good partner or good pad holder that can do all those things. And it's good for you to learn too, because it gives you insight on the other side of the table. Just a different perspective. There's a lot of little things you can learn. One thing that pops out of my head that's really, really interesting is you can test things out. Let's take a jab, for example. All right, give me a jab. All right. Now, of course, I want to improve him, but I'm also curious. Let me see how it feels. If I tell him to clench his fist, let me see if there's a difference. This is data for me. All right, now really squeeze your fist punch. Oh, way more power. Good for him, but interesting for me as a trainer. Oh man, what a difference it makes when someone clenches their fist. Then if you're a fighter and a trainer, then you can, that could be a reminder for you. So you're learning in real time, data on the spot, what works. So a lot of things you can discover by experimenting and you taking note, not just to make them better, but you taking note, damn, that works 100% because I can feel it. There's no better data than that. So let's say, all right, now start further back. Now, don't clench your fist, push off the ball of your back foot, like explode in. Ha! All right. Now, clench your fist and do the same. Ha! Yeah. Keep this tight, like a bicep curl on your face. Tense your stomach. Ha! Yeah. Still, not as much more power than I was expecting. Let's see. Loosen your shoulders and lock that at the end. Sync them up together. Boom! Hit in the middle. Ha! Yeah. Ha! Better. Those cues that I'm giving is not just for him to get better. It can also satisfy your own curiosity. So I'll throw some cues out. Do this, do that, do this. And then I can just feel it, test it. And I'm like, oh wow, this works. Ah, interesting. It's not as much as it doesn't work as well as I thought. And then if you have multiple partners or students, then you test the same cues. And if it's consistent, then you're on to a winner. So if you're consistently saying, engage your core before you kick, and it's doubling, the power's significantly bigger with every person, every student or partner that you go through, then that's your answer. And you can take it for yourself if you train and fight yourself, and you're already learning. So you don't need to scour the world, the internet to find all these answers. Like you can find them yourself. They're right in front of you. A few extra tips. Sometimes you'll get like a hyper anxious, edgy partner or student, and they give you stress because you pull it up and they just throw it, and it's just like, just calm the hell down, and they're reckless and they're going to make mistakes and they're going to hurt you. They're going to destroy your joints. You might give them a knee, and this happened to me once. So I went for a knee, and then someone threw a head kick instead. I've had in 15 years. I've had two really stupid things happen. I hold for a knee, boom, head kick, or anyway. But you don't want that to ever happen. If someone is antsy, you got to calm them down. So, can you act antsy? I don't give him anything yet. All right, breathe, move back. All right, relax. All right. Then you reward him like Pavlov's dog. Ha! Get antsy again. I'm not giving you shit. Calm down. Get antsy again. Oh, calm. I mean, I don't say that, but don't reward them and don't give them anything. All right, until they do exactly what you want them to do, and they have to be calm. And train them like that. Don't pay for other people's mistakes. Don't pay for your students' mistakes ever. Do not tolerate it. I don't put people. If I hold pads for someone, they've graduated to that. First, they've got to get good at bags. All right, they've got to be accurate on bags first. Then, let's try kick, shield, and paddles. If they're accurate and they're focused and they're not reckless, all right, then we could try pads. Now, when you start off with pads, always start off by telling them. So always test it first, especially if you go with a new person. If you're partners and we've never met before, don't go full power the first kick. That's like the highest risk. That's when you get hurt. So first I'll say, all right, just go very lightly and just touch. Yeah, lighter than that, and rotate. All right. So you sync it up. and I feel where he hits, maybe I need a technique tweak. This is also safer for him too, because if he hits full power and he hits wrong, he's going to hurt himself and he's not going to come to the training, and well, what was the point of that? So first, make sure that he hits on the right spot. Then when you build a little trust and he's consistent, all right, now go full power. All right, hit me hard, boom. Then it works, beautiful. Now we've set the tone, we've set the standard, and it'll flow a lot better. So take the time for like the first 30 seconds to get acquainted with each other. Hit in the middle here, this is the tone, this is the vibe, this is the pace, then go from there, then build it up from there. So always got to build a little bit of trust first. Also, it's for you, because some people, they'll get hit, boom, and they'll hit them. So you don't know the level of power they're going to start with. Maybe if it's random and you hold, maybe you're holding too light and they're kicking too hard, then bam, you hit yourself in the head. So that's why it's like, all right, start off light so you both know what to expect. All right, now go a little harder, boom. All right, now go full power if you want. And then you're ready for the full power. So take a few moments to calibrate.